It's another edition of Cronkite Sports Live, but this time not in Studio 6, but we're still in downtown Phoenix, this time outside of the Footprint Center, the home of the Phoenix Suns and Mercury, coming off of the Jerry Colangelo Classic for Arizona State and GCU men's and women's basketball. With that being said, we welcome you outside on an early Friday morning here to CSL. Max Cepeda and Justin Lacertosa here on the corner of Jefferson Street and Diana Taurasi Way. And Justin, it may be 1:30 in the morning, but it's still a Friday and it's still another day for another CSL.
Yeah, and second consecutive season, Arizona State's gotten a chance to play at the Footprint Center last year. Get this, a 19-point loss to Northwestern, but even worse, ASU shot 31% from the field. I know better than anyone that Inner New Jersey and Bobby Hurley wasn't going to let his team forget about that loss. So without further ado, let's get right into the action. Arizona State coming into this one with something to prove. Just traveled up to Spokane, Washington, and went toe-to-toe with the number 4 Zags. And now they're here back in Phoenix against their crosstown rivals, GCU. We're going to see right here, Bashir Jihad kicks out to Alston Mason, left wing triple, and that one's cash. Mason getting things going early for the Sun Devils. We're going to see him right here, drive middle, no good, but put back up and in by Sean Phillips Jr. He tells his defender, hey, you're a little bit too small, buddy. That's 2 points for Big Sean, and we see BJ Freeman right here back down his defender over multiple defenders, and that's 2 points, and tells them, hey, you guys are even smaller. Lopes and Sun Devils trading blows in this first half, and we're going to see Jacoby Coles a 1-dribble pull-up, and that's cash. He gets things going for GCU in this one. But right now, let's watch this young gun get in his bag. Josan Sainin from 3 off the catch, and one more for good measure. Mid-range pull-up, it's cash. He had 13 points in that first half, and he was the engine for ASU, and right now we're going to see Mason dice his way into the lane, embraces the contact, and one, it's good. After he gets up, he tells the crowd, this is my city. The second generation Sun Devil has been huge for ASU to start out the season. We're gonna see right here, Quainans alters the shot on the other end. Mason pushes the pace in transition, and peekaboo, it's JQ in the paint. That's a slam dunk for JQ. And right here, Josan tells his man, hey, back off a little bit. That's 3-point step back triple for Sainin. He had 21 points in this outing. He said he's a one-and-done guy, and he looked like that tonight. And we're going to see Jaden Quaintance get his hands in the cookie jar, spreads the love to Adam Miller. May have gotten away with no foul call, but Adam Miller in transition, that's 2 points. And Bobby Hurley's 200th win as head coach. Arizona State improves to 3-1 on the season. Here's Bobby Hurley with more.
I don't think, and I told my team this, nobody in the country through 4 games has played a harder schedule than us. You know, when you talk about playing Santa Clara, neutral, this GCU team, 30-win team with a lot of guys back, and then on the road at Gonzaga. So just for us to be where we are right now is really, we're in a good spot. We got to keep getting better, get home. We got a couple of home games coming up, and so we're excited about where things are going.
Arizona State men's basketball pulling off an impressive victory against the Grand Canyon Lopes tonight, 87-76. Max Cepeda and Devin Henderson here for Cronkite Sports. And Devin, Arizona State, in many ways, these first 5 games, counting the Duke exhibition game, of course, 2 weeks ago, that kind of began the season. Very difficult stretch of contests. Bobby Hurley saying post-game he believes it's the most difficult stretch that any team's had to face in the country. And more importantly, the big, impressive win tonight, believes that he can and his team can compete in a non-conference schedule like this going forward.
Yeah, this is a completely different squad than the one we saw 19 days ago against those Duke Blue Devils. That was a 50-plus point loss. That's insane, but they've righted the ship, right? They go up to Vegas. They have to play a Santa Clara squad that has had 3 straight 20-plus win seasons. That's a really good program. They get a win there. They then go up to Spokane, Washington, and play one of the pillars of college basketball, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. And they go up there, and frankly, in a hostile environment, they only lose by 8 points. That's a pretty good showing. And then they come out here to the Footprint Center against one of the best mid-majors in the country, a round of 32 in March Madness team last year, the GCU Lopes, and they get the victory. So Bobby Hurley has a good claim that it's been a tough schedule, and ASU have handled it well.
Nearly 14,000 fans in the stands tonight at Footprint Center, the large majority of which wearing purple and white and not maroon and gold. So another great example of the test that ASU has faced this season. And on top of that, the offense, so impressive tonight, more than 80 points for a second straight game. And Jason Sainin, another incredible performance for him, 22 points coming off the bench, which is something that he's not accustomed to, but he showed up leading that freshman class tonight.
Yeah, frankly, Sainin LeBron was cooking tonight, whether it was pull-up threes, pull-up middies, contested threes, contested layups. He was getting anything he wanted. Bobby Hurley said in the postgame, he said when he gets going, he is virtually unstoppable, and he's been that for much of this season. They're going to need a lot more of his scoring if they want to continue to be as successful as they already have.
Freshman class has been impressive for much of this season, both him and Jaden Quaintance, and don't forget the veterans as well, like Alston Mason, also performing well as well tonight. ASU back in action on Sunday to take on the St. Thomas Tommies. We'll have all the coverage for you on Sunday afternoon.
From the U.S. Airways Center to the Talking Stick Resort, the Footprint Center has gone through many changes since its opening in 1992, and arguably the face of the storied venue comes in the form of Steve Nash. Nash played 10 seasons in Phoenix and is well regarded as one of the best to ever lace him up, and our Blake Neiman has more on Nash's success.
Captain Canada. That's Nash's best. MV Steve. Stevie Wonder.
Get inside. How did he hit that layup?
Come on, Doug. How does he make that?
He was a man of many names, but he was never the most prolific scorer the game had ever seen, and his defensive play was always the subject of controversy. But when a 22-year-old Steve Nash was drafted in 1996, 15th overall to Phoenix, in the same class as those such as Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, and Allen Iverson, few would expect you to live up to their level of hype and performance. Nash's career, however, turned out otherwise, one built on proving the doubters wrong. His skills revolve largely around his incredible awareness in his passing and his ability to be a true point guard while also being exceptionally efficient, as he had the most seasons of 50% from the field, 40% from beyond the arc, and 90% from the charity stripe. His years in the purple and orange captured him 2 NBA MVPs, and the Suns he helped lead alongside those like Amari Stoudemire in the mid-late 2000s made Phoenix a true contender in the West for years. And while Nash never won a Larry O'Brien trophy in his illustrious 18 years in the association, his daily dedication to excellence was amongst the best, influencing the advice he gave in recent weeks to Arizona State football.
Right around the corner. So the number one message I want to give you guys to get used to winning, to get comfortable with winning, is process over outcome. You guys heard that? If you haven't heard that, never forget this. Process over outcome.
Phoenix's point guard still remains one of the most affluential athletes in the Valley, and ASU fans can only hope that the Sun Devils who took the floor he once graced Thursday night can ever potentially reach the standard once set by the man named Nash. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Blake Neiman.
Now on to the first game of our doubleheader, ASU and GCU on the women's side. Not as packed of a crowd, but still a fun atmosphere inside the Footprint Center. ASU looking to bounce back after that heartbreaking loss to Arkansas State. Jalen Brown with a big three-pointer here, increasing the lead to 9-4 early in the first quarter, but near the end, Ty Skinner able to finish at the hoop, able to get this response from a great assist and able to finish it there. ASU with a 10-point lead after one, but early in the second, Sydney Erickstrup would hit from the top of the key, and GCU would cut the deficit to 6. Meanwhile, right before the half, Kennedy Basham, one of the key transfers for this Arizona State team after a quick timeout, would be able to rally things together. You could see Jalen Brown rallying the team together, and she would do just that. And after that team huddle, we head to the third. A tough reverse from Tiara Brown, able to get it to go to start the second half. But then it became the Alyssa Duranzo Fresca show. She became an absolute offensive firework for the purple and white, nailing a corner three, her first of 6 on the second half alone, cutting the deficit to 4, 46-42. Now this one would give GCU their first lead of the second half, 47-46, with another 3 from the corner from Duranzo Frescas, and just like that, with the beginning of the fourth, she nails another one, this time from the top of the key, and the Lopes would not look back. They finished the game leading with 22 points in a row from the Lopes. They end up winning it 70-59. ASU now falls to 1-2 with back-to-back losses against a group of 5 opponents.
I think it was just the consistency and the carryover from first half to second half. The rotations I talked about, we were just a little late on our rotations, and again, recognizing where number 12 was and not leaving her. But it's just, again, it's putting together 2 halves and making sure we're consistent in doing the things, one, to get us the lead, to keep the lead, and then stretch it out.
Now, while the kings of the court performed as well as they did at Footprint Center on Thursday night, the Queens, not so much, as they now fall to 1-2, losing to a second consecutive Group of 5 team in a row, being their crosstown rivals in GCU by double digits nonetheless. And our Tia Reed has more on where the Sun Devils on the court on the women's side go forward with Natasha Adair's squad now looking for answers just 3 games into this short season.
Tonight, the Sun Devils suffered a tough 70-59 loss to GCU at this year's edition of the Hall of Fame series at Footprint Center. Now, it was tough for the Sun Devils because they had the lead at halftime. They were up by 9, and when asked if she thought this was perhaps the best that her team had played at any point this season, Adair said, "I think so." So what went wrong in the second half? Well, for starters, the Sun Devils had 5 turnovers in the first half as opposed to 14 in the second half. Their defense looked completely different. They were losing shooters, they lacked communication defensively, and they were slower in their rotations, all of which contributed to GCU's Alyssa Durazo-Frescas going off for 22 points. She was 6 of 10 from beyond the arc, including going 4 for 6 in the second half alone. Now, looking ahead to this weekend's games in the Breon January Classic, Adair said the key is consistency and putting a full 40 minutes together. That's been the word to her team the past 2 seasons as well. We'll see if this year is any different and if the Sun Devils can finally figure out what it means to play tough for a full 40 minutes. Back to you guys.
Long before the dog days of ASU women's basketball was a lengthy period of success under former head coach Charlie Turner-Thorne. CTT spent 25 years at the helm and allowed the program to reach new heights that it's never seen before. For more on the CTT era in Tempe, here's Aiden O'Neill.
Charlie Turner-Thorne, the winningest coach in Arizona State women's basketball history, established the Sun Devils as a perennial powerhouse in 25 seasons at the helm. During her tenure, ASU made 14 NCAA tournaments, 3 Pac-12 championships, and the only 2 Elite 8 appearances in program history. After taking over with a 20-60 combined record over the previous 3 seasons, CTT changed the program forever. Retiring from ASU on March 3rd of 2022, Charlie Turner-Thorne stepped away from the thing that defined her most, basketball. However, this absence from the game didn't last long, as Turner-Thorne joined the Phoenix Mercury coaching staff in 2023. She served in an assistant role to former Sun Devil assistant Nikki Blue. The Arizona State and Mercury connection came full circle on Wednesday night, as the Footprint Center hosted the Sun Devils for the Hall of Fame series against Grand Canyon University. Although no longer a part of either organization, CTT's legacy in the Valley lives on forever. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Aiden O'Neill.
Thanks so much, Aiden. And what's important to note as well, Justin, is the fact that we had nearly 14,000 fans show up for this game on a Thursday night for a doubleheader of the same 2 schools, no less, and we certainly felt the energy in there tonight.
Yeah, and I swear, coming into this arena, I was seeing more purple than I was maroon and gold, and it's clear that both sides were kind of divided. It was an interesting dynamic to see those fan bases kind of clash.
And let alone that would lead to the 2 results that we saw from both games tonight, a split decision between the women and the men, and that obviously spilled out across the fan bases across downtown Phoenix. We're on the streets ourselves. We had some of our crew also check out the streets before and after these games to check out their reactions as well.
We're outside the Footprint Center. Let's see how fans are feeling about tonight's game.
All right, all I got to say, one thing, all right? Hey, paint the Valley purple and roll purple, baby!
Yes!
Sports
up, baby!
Existed until this year. Until actually like 5 days ago when I got the ticket.
Welcome to my house. Right there, that's right. You looking at him, the ambassador himself.
Come on! Let's go ASU! Paint the Valley purple!
Birds aren't real. GCU's not real. All I see at GCU when I go there are birds. They're not real.
From the security of Footprint Center, ASU wins tonight.
Hey, paint the Valley purple!
Havocs, the GCU Havocs.
It's a hat compensating for something.
GCU, fake school. We already know they got investigated. Federal government. Look it up. Trump's America.
Grand Canyon, we're going to make the Grand Canyon great again, I tell you.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good?
Yeah! Yeah!
What about you?
Let's go! Paint the Valley purple!
Yo, the game's still going, right? Why y'all leaving?
Money spread here. I just wanted to come back and voice and just say we did not paint the Valley purple.
Yeah, that's
Good. I predicted the victory. We got the victory.
Yes, sir.
Easy. That's what happens when you're accredited school.
Pass the ball, Grant! Pass the ball!
Pretend Grant's watching this right now.
Pass the ball!
We smoking on that GCU pack. Devils on top, Lobos on the bottom. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo! First GCU game I've ever been to. I'm a GCU student. I'll never be coming back.
Thanks so much, guys. And clearly the energy has been spilled out all across downtown Phoenix, and who knows, this might be a tradition going forward.
Yeah, and Zippy, it's not midnight. It's actually 2 in the morning right now, but I don't know about you. I'd be lying if I said I didn't need a midnight snack, maybe some Waffle House, some IHOP. I don't know. I'm hungry, but a great day to be an ASU fan.
But more importantly, it's a Friday, and we stayed dedicated to the craft with another edition of CSL. We'll be back in Studio 6 next week for another edition, but for Justin Lacertosa, I'm Max Zepeda. We're saying so long from outside the Footprint Center.